cursor? Okay, it's there. Awesome. Okay, so let's do intro like normal. Hey guys, this is Maui Snake, doing my first demo review in a while, and I'm going to be doing it for Daisuki today. And he is a Gold Nova 3 player. If I press tab, it's going to show Gold Nova 2, but he literally ranked up right after this. He's basically Gold Nova 3, but yeah, I haven't done demo reviews for a while now, and I'm getting back on the horse. And, okay, you're starting out by playing it really passively around new box. I kind of get why you're doing that. You're trying to just play your spot that you're comfortable with, you don't want to push down. But when your teammates are going down everywhere to start the round, pushing everything, it's in your best interest to help them and look for trades and just play that situation. There's kind of a case to be at new box, but I definitely don't feel like that was the situation to do it. Your teammates were getting so much map control and everything, and if you were to support them there, you probably would have found a trade. Just even looking at the T's health, you probably would have just found these kills had you have pushed with them, so this could have been a lot easier. Or you just commit the whole round to the new box position instead of rotating passively. You decided to rotate like this, and now you've lost a lot of map control. They're now on the B bomb site, and had you just stayed at the spot you originally were thinking about, you definitely could have just stopped that plant. Or if you just push down with them. I mean, there's two options here. I feel like neither of the options were to rotate to A. Unless you got a really serious call that they were already planning at the A bomb site. Okay, teammate finds the kill. This is where you should slow down a little bit. This is something a lot of newer players have problems with. Just kind of understanding the angles that their teammates are holding and going through while you are. So right now you're running through CT, pushing into water. But your teammate, during that time, was pushing through construction. All of this time that he was doing this, a good 4 seconds, you were taking a free 1v1. So that's what the T is looking for. When a T is in a man-down situation, he needs to look for 1v1s. He doesn't want to get overwhelmed. And by pushing out by yourself here, you're allowing him to find a free 1v1 had he decided to peek you. Your teammate wouldn't have been able to help you for 4 whole seconds. It's a lot of time that an opponent could capitalize upon. So you guys are clearing all the angles. You have a kit, so you should probably at least tap it. And looks like you're just going to stick it, and you're just going to trust your teammate to get it. And yeah, good play. Also, given just kind of like the situation a little bit more, it was kind of obvious at that point that the T was towards banana. The way you should angle your body usually is like this. Makes it much harder for him to headshot you if your back is to him. I've never seen that distance time thing. Yeah, so if you if you're drawing the lines but you press shift while you do it, you can get a timer for how long it takes. It's actually not perfect all the time, but it's really handy. Helps you just kind of understand rotations and routes a little better. It's an easy way to compare. Like, I'm not going to go into it right now, but... Okay, so again, your teammates are pushing down, and you're deciding to play passively. There seems to be a disconnect between yourself and the teammates that you're playing with, and it's kind of weird you're just kind of holding your knife out right now, given that, I mean, your teammate is down here, just kind of holding this, so there's no way he should possibly be banana, but this seems like a kind of a waste of your time to just have your knife out. Like, again, this is where I would push to a different spot. Second orange is a good spot, but when your teammate's already down at the bottom of banana, it's not really all that useful. We're just going to fast forward because, I mean, there's no way he can really be banana at this point. Okay, you guys got intel, so let's see your route. Yep, pretty standard stuff. Not much for you to do there. But again, it's just like you're not pushing with your team, which is a little strange. You don't have to just full commit to that stuff, but it's worth trying it, and I already feel like I'm going to be able to tell from the way that you play that, and this is something that a lot of just like lower MMR players have troubles with, is like knowing when to be aggressive and when not to be aggressive, and when to play off their teammates and when not to. Right now it feels like you're not going to play with your teammates all that much. That's something you can definitely think about as you move forward. I like that you didn't throw the smoke there. Just throwing the molly, getting this banana control is really nice. Your teammate is already posted up with an op. Definitely should have thrown just a straight up left click flash there. I think you did left right. And left right just doesn't go far enough. That blinded your opper completely. And yeah, now your teammates are pushing. One of your teammates at A died, so it only makes sense to rotate to A. So I like this rotation. And okay, you spot one guy. I think you should have heard the guy run into the bomb side at this point. And you're able to take him out. And you have a smoke still, so you could use this to smoke off pit or something. And it looks like you're gonna do, I mean, you smoked off graveyard, which was kind of an interesting smoke, but it wasn't like it's a bad one. So this is where you definitely should like tap the bomb. Yeah, so you're not really doing anything better at that point. Took you a little while to recognize that, but when your teammate's fighting them and you have 7 health, you don't really want to just run into the guy's crosshair and just potentially die. So yeah, you wanted to smoke off that barrel near pit. I'm assuming you're talking about, yeah, this. Yeah, that would have been a great smoke. That would have been definitely how I think most people would have used it. Gives you a better route to the bomb site. Now you have an M4. You guys picked up a P90, but you didn't end up using it. You're gonna throw a flash. So flash isn't really like the most useful utility to start out a banana kind of like pushback. I guess it stops a rush, but it doesn't get you any kind of control. Okay, so now you should be thinking about what to do in this situation. You guys are down to a very early 4v3. Several of your teammates towards A have died, but you still have 2 people towards B. And a general rule of thumb is whatever bomb site has the greater just kind of personnel on it is the bomb site that should be making a play right now. This is kind of like fundamental team Counter-Strike, is that because this guy is on A by himself, you can't really expect this guy at this point to just hold the bomb site. So it's in your best interest to, instead of smoking this off, which I think your teammate did, so not... actually, you know what? Now that I look at it, I don't know how that smoke got there, given that he still has his smoke and you still have your smoke. I guess the team must have thrown it. Yeah, it looks like he might have thrown it. It's kind of in your guys' best interest right now to either rotate or to push. And usually, what you'll see in better, like higher level Counter-Strike, is that at this point, these guys are just going to push. And even, I'm not saying you should push through the smoke, but like pretty much right away when your teammates die, you should like look for an opportunity to seize map control towards this banana area so that one of your guys can rotate off, and that the other guy can just play like this angle, one of these 2 angles, or maybe up here or something like that, because he can usually get 1 or 2 from these spots, and or give you guys just a lot of information, because that information can just allow you to stack this bomb site. So this little tidbit of information you can take with you, but instead we're going to look at how you decided to play the situation. There's a molly. Thought about using it, and it looks like you guys are just kind of gambling that they are going to go to B. And now that your guy actually got a pick at A with the op, it is very possible that T's will say, screw that, we don't want to go towards A and we're going to go towards B, and it looks like they're actually going to do just that. So you guys put the burden on your teammates' shoulders there, but if you're trying to carry games in the future and just be the most impactful player you can be overall, you should definitely look to... Okay, this is weird. You should definitely look to make the play yourself. So, another piece of information is that you smoked off banana, and then you ran to rotate. Pretty commonly, if you do decide to rotate, it would be this guy, so that he can just kind of like make less noise, and then you can start walk rotating around this point. Instead, you just kind of ran across. And that just gives them all the information in the world. If they were in these areas, which they were, now they know that you already rotated off the bomb site, and that now you're making a play towards, looks like A, and you should have just made this play towards the bomb site you're already at. It would have been a bad idea at this point to have made this play, given that people frequently rotate away from oppers, but now you're instead towards here, and right when you left, it looks like your teammate is finding out that they're going towards B, and okay, that's a good Molotov to stop them, and you're actually going to do a lot of damage with it. You actually got a kill with it, which is pretty insane. And push out, and you're going to find the kill. That guy had pretty low time, so he felt like he was forced to plant. And so you kind of like didn't make a play when I feel like you should have, and I feel like you didn't make a play when you should have in that round, and you kind of rotated also kind of poorly there as well. Yeah, that guy holding on the bomb site was really awkward. How he saw you, but he had 10 seconds left, and sometimes when people hear that like music, they just get so nervous that they really think they need to just plan it. Okay, something that you're doing with your utility at the start here is you keep bouncing the Molotov that you're throwing off of this wall, and it's landing here. The Molotov that was burning here after was your teammates, but you should just throw it down. You don't need to bounce it into logs, because unless they're like already set up in logs and you're posted on them, you don't really want to just throw a Molotov right towards that area to start the round off. Okay, so you're playing back on the site. Your teammates are kind of fighting everywhere. And now it's definitely in your best interest to either rotate or make a play towards mid. And you're rotating. That's a really strange nade. It's kind of unlikely when your teammates died that a T would have been in that hallway that early. That seemed kind of like you were scared, so you wanted to throw a nade. And now you're just looking for the fight. Potentially going to find a way back into the round by getting a pick. And that was a really tough retake. I wouldn't even have gone for it. 4v2 at B. You guys had low health, and or after you got tagged up, I probably would have just saved. Once I found that pick like immediately, I wouldn't have committed to that. But this is a chance to reset them now, so you have a good chance to still win. Okay, you only bought a smoke grenade. Oh, okay, I guess you guys are talking about buying in the upcoming round, so you're trying to save some money into that. Okay, I kind of understand that, but you still have the luxury to... When you're on a 1-round loss bonus, your money... That was a really ugly one. So when you're on a 1-round loss bonus, your money is $1,400, then $1,900, then $2,400. So what basically this means is that you can look to buy... I explained it at the beginning. The reason I wrote Gold Nova 3 is because he got Gold Nova 3 like right after this, immediately after, and he's Gold Nova 3 now. So basically, what I'm saying though with the money situation is that you're gonna get, unless you're looking to buy it depends what you're looking to buy, but you're gonna get 1,900 next round. And if you guys are trying to buy next round, you can live with $2,500. I mean, if you want all the utility you can get, you can. You know, you could buy more or whatever in the next round, or buy less so that you have more money. But you're looking to basically save $2,500 into this upcoming round, and you saved a little more than that. You have $3,300, so you'll be able to buy more utility next round. But because your team already has a guy with $50 and $0, you guys aren't buying into the next round. That's pretty unlikely. So you have money right now to buy a Molotov or 2 flashbangs or something else, you know, to supplement what you're this round here, because you're more likely to win this round here than the following round. So you should just like buy as much as you can buy, or buy like, yeah, you should buy down to basically $2,500, and a Molotov and a flashbang, which would have been $800 more. You would have had exactly $2,550. So now you only have a smoke. Okay, so you have a smoke there. So your potential plays you can make now are to rotate back, but it's really strong to just kind of sit here. And there was a gap in this smoke. I'm gonna slow it down so that I don't miss your rotation too much, but I'll move around because you can't. So because that smoke is so bad, you could actually kind of like play around it. You don't need a post. You could like basically post up on it if you want, or you could just like spray through the smoke when you hear them running or something like that. But that was a bad smoke. You should try to make a play off of that. When opponents use utility poorly, take advantage of it, because they're not going to be ready for the utility to be bad. You're the one that knows it's bad. We played a kind of a weird angle here. Playing behind default, it's kind of an awkward position. It's literally right when they're... Like, imagine you're a terrorist running out of apartments or really anywhere. What are you going to look at right when you run out? It's right behind default. So you don't want to stand right in their crosshair right here. You want to stand in an off angle or somewhere that they're not going to look as they run out. So those angles could be just hiding behind default, waiting for them to run on site. You could hide behind this box because it's just a hard shot. You could hide here. But you were rotating and you decided to actually choose this spot. You could have moved to like here. Like you had time to get to somewhere better. So that's like a positioning error on your end. You just made that kill a little too easy for the entry fragging terrorists. So now you just have like an M4 and armor, and this is like again a really weird buy. Find the trade kill, and now you guys even things out, and I like it. You're looking to find a kill here. You have some of the best guns on your team, and yeah, this is your teammates didn't have great guns on their end, so they couldn't hold, but you look for a play there, which is nice. And now you're looking for a kill at Arch. At this point, I mean, they're already running up truck. I think you guys should have been aware of that by now. And okay, you're clearing all the angles. Find a nice headshot. That was good crosshair placement on your end. Found out where another guy is, and he's gonna give you the fight. And you're just kind of strafing too much. For like something I could comment on mechanically, you don't really counter strafe enough. Like usually if people are pushing in this area, this only adds like maybe 1 second to your whole push here. Is that when you're pushing down here, you probably counter strafe like here just like 1 time, just so that if anyone's down mid, and then you counter strafe here 1 time, and then when you peeked here, you counter strafe. But once you were here, you started just hitting like WASD, 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 and you definitely need to just like chill a little bit with your movement keys in those situations and just post up. I mean, the guy is like kind of overextending himself already, so just let him come into your crosshair there. He was like really showing his gun, and he was definitely gonna peek you there. And you kind of were strafing when he did that, so that made it harder on yourself. Okay, you seem to like second oranges. Seems to be your favorite spot. It's a good spot. Usually can at least get 1 from here. Sometimes you can even get 2. The T who peeked on balcony should have probably died to your teammate. That's true. That's true too. But I think his teammate was already running to the bomb site by that time. So again, you're kind of just standing here with your knife out, and you seem to do this a lot. I don't really get why you are doing this still. Something you need to definitely re-examine about your gameplay is that your teammates were fighting for a pretty long time there, and instead of like helping them early enough and then getting some map control, like imagine if you were fighting with them when your teammates were all fighting banana. Imagine if you were just here with them. You guys got the bomb. The bomb was down like right here. Imagine if you just posted up right here. Now you're an MP9 in the most annoying angle like ever, and you're just gonna screw with them for the rest of the round, you know? But you kind of showed up late. By the time you showed up, all the T's were readjusting to what's been going on, and then they were just too ready for that. I mean, they were just basically already posted by the time you got there. And that's because you just sat there quick switching your knife for the whole round. Okay, so now, again, you're buying an M4 with a kit instead of nades. And you guys already... Okay, so this is another just kind of overall lesson. You don't need to prioritize kits. So this is kind of how you should, like, if you're going to do a force buy, depending on... Unless you are, like, a dedicated support player, the way you should prioritize your money is gun plus armor. This is really hard to write. Armor. 2 is like smoke for CT. This is, okay, this isn't 100% of the time, but very, very frequently. And then flashes And then any other nades you can get after that, plus other nades. Like, I mean, anything after a smoke is kind of like just however you want to use it. Jeez, it is hard to write, because when you make tight lines, it's just like... And then 4 is like kit. Kit. Jesus. So, like, the way you went about this was this, and then this. The kit is not that useful, because usually you're not trying to play a post-plant situation on a force buy already. You're not trying to get it to that point in the round because the other team is using their nades to get control of the map. You're just trying to fight them, because if they play the whole round correctly... Which I'm not saying Gold Novas are always going to do, so maybe at your level the meta is a little different, but is it right to not buy head armor and save money against tees with ops? That's another thing too. So you didn't buy head armor, that's a good save of your money here, but at the same time you have $350 more. Like, you should buy a smoke or something like that. Like, your teammates are all buying... Actually, you know what? It's really weird that you guys don't buy down to $0. Like, I don't know why do you guys keep this extra $300? Like, why I don't get what that's about. Like, you guys, like, new player might not have been able to buy anything else because he looks like he bought everything, but your other teammates are kind of like keeping a lot of money stored. I'm not really sure why that is. You guys just need to, like, I mean, you can't worry about your teammates' economy and how they use it that much because people are going to buy how they want to, but to increase your own odds the most in these kind of rounds, you're looking to buy grenades. And, I mean, gun, armor, and then grenades. That's how you solo win rounds. You don't really solo win rounds by buying a kit. Because retake's already hard enough without grenades. And just having a kit is like, unless you're like, you have the best movement in the game, you don't, like, a kit's not going to be the way to win the round. Because if you have the best movement in the game, you might just jiggle peek your way into a bomb site, kill everyone, and out-aim them. But... I mean, unless your mechanics are like God mode, that's not usually like your way to retake a bomb site. You usually smoke off a couple angles and everything. Okay, so you guys are down to a 3v3. Something I've noticed immediately is the way you play is you don't get aggressive at all, and you the bomb's down at A though, and you're rotating. You could throw it into your playbook a little bit to get aggressive here and there. Your crosshair placement right now is really kind of bad. You should think about that a little more. Okay, good. Reaction. And now you're going to just wide swing on this angle, but you're going to get to pit. So if you had good information there, this is actually a great play, because now you're in one of the best spots you can be for this situation. And now something you should do is not just stay... Well, you could do this. You could just stay crouched. So I would go for like a timing peak here. I'd probably peak in like 6 seconds. I'd probably like count down in my head. I'd do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or something like that, and then I'd peek, and then you just hope that he's like there. And this guy's just spamming so many shots at you, eventually you really need to just peek him. That was just not... Like, if you're getting spammed and he's actually looking for the spam the way he should be, you need to just like fight him. And like, you kind of just let him have the exact fight that he wanted there. Yeah, peek, if he's shooting you, like, peek right after he shoots, because you know he has an op. So now just post up on his angle, so that when he re-peeks with this op, you're just going to kill him, because he's walking into you. Like, an op peeking you, you should usually win that fight, just because they're slow. Ops move slowly, you know? That's... Yeah. Okay, so again, you're going for a deagle and a kit. Okay. So you're just trying to stay alive now. Really is in your best interest right now to just try to stay alive. Hopefully you communicated to your teammate that that guy was there, that he could have pushed there. The deagle's not a bad like purchase here, honestly. I honestly don't think the deagle was the worst purchase. I think the way you guys all bought in general was really strange. Again, like, I don't feel like you guys are on the same page with how you're buying. But we're gonna like ignore that. I don't think like... I'm just gonna take these rounds as if like I'm not looking at your teammates' money, because you guys are never on the same page at all. But okay, again, you have a slot for another grenade and you're not buying it. And that's really strange yet again. You have this $4,000, and for some reason you're not buying that extra flashbang or that extra grenade, and that can be the difference between winning a round and losing a round. Okay, so you're playing with an Opper now, and something you should realize is that the way you play with an Opper isn't by just sitting back in your favorite spot on the map. Like, I get it, you are really comfortable with this spot, but your teammate is here on his own, he's isolated, he has a gun that's worth 3 times the amount that your gun is worth, and you should be ready to support him. So the ways you can support your Opper are by flashing for him, or just being there so that if he gets rushed, you can just kill them as they try to run at him. Because what Ts are always going to try to do is that when you have an Opper right here, is that he's going to take a shot and then he's going to usually try to run back. And if you're just like here at sandbags or something, they're going to just like try to run at him, and then you're just going to mow them down because they're not ready for your position. I can't really speak about the fact that you had a toxic teammate. I mean, that just happens sometimes. But now you're just in your favorite spot, and like, you could have potentially saved this guy by having a flashbang out for him, or you could have gotten like some really easy trade frags, but you just keep playing the spot. So really, you gotta vary your positioning. You gotta think about just a little bit about how your teammates play. If what you're doing with your teammates doesn't work after a while, sure, just go to your favorite spot. But like it's like Second Orange is a great spot. No, there's no doubting that. But like, it's just like this is now a 1v4, and you weren't able to. Like, this is a really, really hard situation for you, and this is with you playing your favorite spot. Like, it's just tough. So you almost got that one, but they swarmed you, and that. I mean, that's just gonna happen when you play New Box. Unless you're like, again, really, really good with movement, it's just tough to make sure that you're going to isolate the angles and fights properly and be able to hit the shots as well. It's like a lot of mechanical pressure on you. Okay, so you buy an auto shotgun here. I said to not worry about how your teammates are buying too much, but at the same time, like, all your teammates are buying out and you're buying an auto shotgun. This definitely is not your best purchase. Like, you just have so much money here. Like you could buy it. You could have instead bought an M4 and full grenades, and instead you buy a shotgun and a kit. So like, again, this is just prioritizing. This is just prioritizing your money spending. It's kind of a weird buy, but we're here for a demo review. You paid me to tell you everything you did wrong, and I'm gonna tell you everything you did wrong because I'm not trying to. I don't hold back on these. I'm not trying to be like super nice or anything. I just, if you're trying to learn, I'm not trying to sugarcoat things. Okay, so you rotate. So where you want to play with an auto shotgun is definitely in the bomb site. So you're gonna move to the bomb site here, and you're gonna try to get into a good spot. Okay, this is probably one of the best spots you could be with an auto shotgun. You need to just have your gun out though, so you get a kill, get the AK, and you decide to wide swing. That's like probably in your worst interest as well, is to wide swing there. That's like a kind of a weird common mistake that I see people make, is that they just kind of wide swing in those high pressure situations. You just can hold your angle. Thank you for the follow. Whoever that was, but welcome to the Maui Club. Boop. Valiant attempt to spray transfer, that's exactly what I want. I need to analyze the game where I got carried. On the ground next to that box is sick because they have to go fully into the site clearly. Yeah, so there's a lot of angles you could have played here. But just staying here is great. Like, it might feel like you're gonna get pre-fired or whatever, but at the same time, you're isolating the duels. Unless they're gonna wide swing you, like, from here and on the bomb site itself, you're never gonna get double peeked when you're there. But, when you are on this box here, you're pretty much isolating a duel. That's why you got that free first kill. That was an isolated duel. But when you wide swing here, you peeked into 2 guys' crosshairs. You didn't know that both guys were out there at the same time, but like, you don't want to take an angle that's gonna fight 2 people at the same time ever, you know? It's just like basic Counter-Strike stuff. Play your angles, isolate duels. give yourself the best chance to get a second kill. And people running in there aren't always going to have the best crosshair placement. They're not always going to hit the shot. And you kind of sometimes have to gamble that. That spot right there on that box can frequently get 2 kills. Even though it feels like you should only get 1, it's not even just a one and done. It frequently can get 2 because it's a hard angle to clear. It's like you have to really move your mouse hard to the left. You have to like aim up, and like people aren't ready to like have that kind of crosshair placement except at the like highest levels. Okay, so you run out. You go for the spray, miss the shot, that's just mechanical skill, and the guy pushes you, and like, again, you kind of keep wide swinging on people, and that oddly worked there, but like, that again kind of goes back to the thing where like, I'm saying, you're trying to take like, the most one-on-one duels as you can in these late round situations, and by swinging it out there, not only was this guy running at you and looking at you, but there was a guy new box that was running out and looking at you, so these are just little things you need to like, work on. These demo reviews are like $35 now. They're not $10. That's like, I was doing that like a year ago, but I started getting too many, and $10 just, I can't like do these for $10 all day. No, demo reviews are now $35. Okay, so your teammate goes down again. He dies. Like again, you're just gonna play your favorite position. At this point, they have seen you play this position. Do I ever stream myself playing? Yeah. Okay, so you decide to play this position instead. This isn't really a good angle for you, admittedly. When T's are strafing out, they can see your arm well before you can see them. Like, look at how far I am right now, and like where your line of sight was right there. This angle gives you really bad geometry. You never want to play close to angles that are like really shallow like that, because they can see your arm, and you're just like appendages before they see you. So playing deeper into emo is definitely a better option there. That was a good entry flash. You could have peeked a little wider with it, but still blinded the guy on bomb site and probably had him shook enough that it... Okay, so good retake. You bought this kit. Looks like your teammate's already on it. And you throw a flash at him. That's pretty cute. And I would just look for utility now. Finally, guys got around that you were alive for at the end. But that was, I mean, that's about as solid as a retake as you could hope. You went in with with your teammates. You threw a nice opening flash. You guys could have definitely peeked a little wider with that flash, but I mean, they blinded the guy on sight, so it was pretty good. And you hit the shots that you're supposed to. Weird quick switch after you use like 10 bullets there, but I mean, we're gonna take those. We're gonna take those for sure. Okay, so you have an op now. So okay, you get smoked off. And you're going to look for another angle to try to op from. And you're going to decide to rotate all the way to A. So this probably isn't in your best interest. If you look at your radar, your CT teammate has already moved all the way down here. It probably means that all of A is clear for the most part. And you should just kind of focus on your section of the map. Because what it likely means that he pushed down all this way is that all the T's are probably grouped up in this area. Your teammate dies, unfortunately, though, so now you're left to hold this bomb site by yourself. I like your angle you're taking. This is a really good way to get, like, one shot off for free. Now you know that they are towards A. And this was the last round, by the way, and you have $1,200. And you didn't buy a better pistol. You didn't buy any grenades. Like, dude, you gotta think about this stuff. Like, you keep not buying enough. I definitely wouldn't re-peek this. That guy has an op. And now your teammate's just running on the bomb site by himself. You're kind of leaving your teammate isolated. And yeah, you could have definitely covered your teammate here, but instead you kind of like got sidetracked by that opper there, who you shouldn't even be re-peeking because he has an op. Like, okay, in a post plant, after you tap the bomb, don't make noise, because then they know that they don't have to re-peek you. He does end up re-peeking you, which is a mistake on his part, but you definitely just like need to like you're either sticking it or you're like walking off the bomb or something. That's what 99% of professional players would do in like 99% of situations. You're not, or you use grenades maybe with a right click throw or something, but you didn't have any nades. Okay, so we're gonna give you a summary of your CT side. because that's what I do in all these. Every time I see a half, I talk about what you could have improved on. So your main things are, for me, one is kind of like recognizing what's really going on in the round and what you... This is way too long to write that. I'm not going to even do that. So you need to recognize what's going on in the round and where you should be like positioned accordingly because of that. So frequently what would happen is two of your teammates would push down banana. And what you would do is you just sit at second oranges. I know you like this spot a lot and you were pretty good at it the one time you got to use it. But when your two teammates are pushing down here, you should either be just at A, or because the normal setup is 2-3 for Inferno. It's, occasionally in pro games or like higher level skill games, you will do like a 3-2 briefly, but like it's much easier if for a team on Inferno to have one guy towards arch, two like one on site basically. Like okay, the most standard setup would be this. It'd be like, you know, one guy at CT boosted, one guy at new box, one guy at arch side, one guy on site just behind this box, and then one guy pit. Like that is literally the most basic setup you can get on this map, and it's just that's a 3-2 or that's a 2-3 depending on how you look at it. I mean, you usually say the A bomb site first, so 3-2. That's a 3-2 setup. So that's, I mean, you could have gone A a lot of those times. I get you, but the main thing is recognizing in those situations that your teammates already pushed down. Just either rotate to A at that point or just push down with them. You don't need to just sit at your favorite spot and just kind of like, you're kind of like accomplishing nothing, and you should always kind of like be trying to do, you shouldn't always try to do you don't always have to like accomplish something, but you need to hold something that's relevant in a round. That is not a relevant spot to hold, given that your teammates have already pushed down banana. So that's that. Another thing that you need to think about is your economy and how you use it. This can just net you so many rounds because you're going to buy the things that you're supposed to buy. So I went through a lot of examples in this game, so maybe you can rewatch it. I'll highlight what just went on. I mean, I'll highlight the whole Twitch VOD, so you can always look back at this in the future. But I went through a lot of examples here how you misuse your economy, and you need to look at that again and understand that you sometimes could have bought a rifle or grenades, and you really frequently didn't. And I actually think you use grenades pretty decently for your level. For Gold Nova level, like, you're smoking off things that you should smoke off. You smoked off Pit that one time when you were trying to retake A. You threw a pretty decent flash, actually. It wasn't like the most pretty flash, but you threw a nice flash when you were retaking the A bomb site. Like, your nade usage in retakes is actually pretty good. So buy nades, dude. Like, throw them, you know? Like, doesn't even matter if they're not like great, but if you isolated an angle there, that's another thing you don't have to look at as you run onto the bomb site, you know? And that can help you. That can be the difference in hitting your shot and not hitting your shot. What was surprising is that good utility usage can also make you a better aimer because you don't have to look at things anymore. Let me read some of this chat. A lot has gone on. If I sub with Twitch Prime, is that a demo review? No. You know what? I'm gonna probably do something where every sub gets a demo review per like month or something like that, or 2 months or something, because I'm not really giving anything to subscribers right now, and I want to do that. Okay, pretty sure the cost. Okay, watch this. The guy got mad at me because I picked up. Okay, good tips against teams who proceed to push all the time. What is a good counter? Throw nades at them. Hold your favorite angle. That too. Like, I mean, if a team was pushing all the time and they were running into Daisuki here, he's at second oranges. That's his favorite spot. He gets like 2 kills there every time he plays there. So play your favorite spot. If you have a spot that you like playing passively, or just op and then know how to move back when you have an op, that really helps too. But yeah, use mollies, use grenades, all that stuff. Smoke it off, you know, smoke whatever it is you're holding. Didn't make my question precise enough. What if they push a CT and get a lot of map control, just run over your team? Learn how to retake things then. If they're pushing all the time, either you could just start opping T side and wait for them to walk into your crosshair, or learn how to retake things. So let's say they push down to get banana control. A really good way to retake banana control is you smoke halfway up, then you flash over, pop, 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 flash, pop, 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 flash, and then you clear all these angles. You can throw a Molotov into one of these cubbies too, and then you can just retake all this positioning, and hopefully they're already pushed down and you get them. But I mean, CT aggression is one of the hardest things to deal with. That's why pretty much every good team in the world has good CT aggression plays. But What else? In your opinion, on a map like Inferno, if the CTs are 4v-fying and they're gonna hit A, is it better to take Hall's control to kill the potential 1-2 people splitting it, or just wait to retake from Hall's or lane and play a crossfire like site? I mean, both of those are actually pretty good options. Depends where your guys' positioning is. Like once you know that you're in a 4v5, playing a crossfire is never a bad idea because it'll usually get you 3 or 4 kills. Maybe even 5, depending how good you guys are. But taking hulls isn't bad either. It's just that that's more of an individual play. And if you can coordinate something with your team, it's always better to do that than to make a solo play. But if you can't, then make a hull solo play. We were doing it yesterday on Inferno and Overpass. On Overpass, okay, I can't talk about all this stuff. Okay, Lamau, I wasted him at the beginning of the round, though. I want to work on that, though. But you didn't waste them at the round, though. Like, you used them for retaking. You had to smoke the whole round, and you used it to retake. You don't just waste it. You're not just wasting all your nades. It might feel like, here's a good rule of thumb for grenade usage. Just for times in a game. Okay, if a game's going really fast, you can use your nades really fast. But if a game is like, kind of like at a standard, like, pug pace, I'd say save 1 grenade every time for post plan. Like, don't even use it, unless you're like literally getting charged by like 3 dudes and you have a flashbang and you know you can flash them. Of course, use it. But like, I think I've told a few people this, is that like, just keep like a flash or a molly or a smoke or anything really to make your like late round situations a little bit easier, because and you kind of had that. You kind of like did this instinctively. You didn't just burn your nades at banana every time you had them. You like, sometimes you'd throw a flash down and a molly down, but I always saw you still with like another nade, but you would only buy 3 nades at most ever. But you would always have that 3rd nade, so just keep it. Is it proper to buy the same as your team, or is it fine to vary it a lot? Don't ever vary your buys. Like, that's something you'll never see in pro games. Like, I mean, the only instance of that, I'm not even going to explain it because it's not even worth it. Like, when pros buy differently than their team. Like, it's so nuanced and like specific situations. You should, if your teammates are buying, you should buy. If your teammates are saving, you should save. That's like almost always the rule. That's like 90% of the time that is the rule. If one of your teammates is being an idiot and force buying every round, don't force buy every round, because you as 4 can like buy properly. But if your one teammate's doing it, then you know, like whatever. But like if your 4 of your teammates are buying, don't be like, I'm gonna be the guy that saves, because then what if they get it down to a 1v1 for you, and then you only have a USP and no armor and no nades and no kit? Like, it's impossible at that point, and your teammates are gonna be like, why didn't you buy with us? Like, I mean, it's pretty obvious, you know? So, all right, let's watch the T side. I think I went over most of your CT side flaws. It's just like, you're like not responding to what your teammates are doing very often, and you should try to vary your positioning a little more, and think about how you're buying. Your buying is like really, really awkward right now. Okay, you buy armor. This is perfect. That's perfectly acceptable and what you should buy. That was pretty bad movement in the beginning. You actually could have got headshotted there if those guys could aim any better. So, you're going to smoke CT, or you guys are going to smoke CT, you guys are going to move into B, and you guys are just going to strafe into the bomb site. I think you should have seen this guy at Emo already, and you do, and you get the kill. Okay, awesome. And you like the Glock more than the USP. I mean, that's just a personal preference, but I think most people at higher levels would prefer the USP just because it's perfectly accurate, or it's like nearly perfectly accurate at long range. And it's a one-shot headshot at longer distances where the Glock is not. So you guys are playing a nice crossfire here. Hopefully Avril Lavigne doesn't overpeak. But you're playing off his contact actually really well there. So that was really good. And now you just don't need a peek at all. You literally didn't need a peek. Avril Lavigne makes a play, and you actually swung off of that perfectly. So that was pretty much the best round I have seen you play all game. And it was super simple. You strafed in with your teammates. You cleared the angle you needed to clear, and yeah, Glock's, yeah, if you actually, yeah, the Glock in that close range situation was good, but USP gives you, like, it's pretty good too. Okay, this is a horrible buy. I'm actually really upset about this. You didn't hear me halfway through this game, so you didn't get my lessons, but don't buy a Deagle second round, dude. Like, the Deagle is good for finding individual picks when your team doesn't have much money, but on the advantage that you get by winning the first round is that you can buy SMGs and literally just run at the other team. And instead you're like reloading your Deagle, you're like just effing around with it a little too much. Like, if you had an SMG there, dude, you would have turned around and literally sprayed down, like, 4 people right there. Instead, you buy a deagle, and you, like, reloaded it after 2 bullets, because 5 is, like, an uncomfortable amount of bullets, and you... That was, like, the hardest I've ever seen you cost your team around, actually, right there. Just saying, like, your buy there was so bad, you actually lost the round for your team. Like, if you had an SMG, or literally just ran up with your teammates, like, there was a lot of things you could have done differently there, and you did, like... You got, like, none of the advantages for your team at all there that you could have. Okay, again, you have $1,000, and you're not buying again, so... I'm gonna chill with the economy talk, because I think you get it at this point. I'll just... Every time I say it, I'll say something just a little bit, but I'm not gonna go on any more tangents. And I'll talk more about your positioning and other things I can comment on. So I like it. You're running up with your team. Your teammates are getting pretty aggressive here. Once you found out where that guy was, your main objective is to try to trade this kill. You should be looking forward. Very unlikely you're getting flanked at this point. You guys ran up here really quickly. That was a nice one-tap on the guy at CT spawn. But your objective now is to trade. That's what you should be thinking. You should be thinking, run in the bomb site trade. Like, get in there. Just get it out there. Like, instead, you kind of hung out there, and there was one guy in the bomb site at New Box, and you let him stop you entirely. You let that one guy with no grenades just stop you entirely, and that's just like, you can't do that. You gotta just run in there, kill him, get that bomb site. Okay, so you buy a Mac 10 here. Kind of a weird buy. Gets you 3 kills though. And now you pick up the op. That was pretty funny. Wait, oh, you didn't kill the... You actually didn't kill the other CT, but you got 2 kills there. One on the opponent, one on the team, on your teammate. And, yeah, this is what you should be doing with the op. You should be posting up on far angles in the retake. There's no reason to, like, quick switch here or anything. You need to just be patient. You need to just hold the angle. That's what operas do. They just hold angles. They make it so that whatever... Okay, that you had to type something. That was, so I guess that was pretty important. We're not gonna have a war against fun in here. So if you do feel like you need to type that, you need to type it. That's okay. But good opening there. That was, I mean, again, your buy was weird, but we're not gonna focus on that. You made every play that you should have in there in that situation, except for the fact you should have stayed peaked with the op. You seem a lot more like YOLO on T side. Just realize that none of your teammates cleared side and the guy with the bomb was on his way. Wolves 3 were at Banana. Well, okay. When you get 2 kills at Banana, you can usually assume that there isn't a third guy that's going to be sitting at something like second oranges. That's just proper Counter-Strike logic. Okay, you just flashed your whole team. That was really weird. Nice. Okay, good opping. So this is what you can do when CTs are getting aggressive. You can just op them. You can just, like, they run out into your angles, you just look at them, and then you shoot them. Because ops are a really balanced gun. I'm just kidding. I think ops are totally fine. I don't think the op needs to be changed at all. Okay. Bad movement there cost you that good Molotov. And you should just kind of get a good position now with your op. Wherever you think is good. Usually with an op, you don't play headshot angles, you don't play up close, you usually try to play around cover that you can strafe around at least a little bit, or like just something where you can hold long range angles. And you're kind of just sitting on the bomb site with it, and this isn't really your best positioning with it. They're not really going for it anyways, but I'm trying to get you your money's worth. I'm trying to tell you everything you're doing wrong. You shouldn't just sit in a cubby. Like, pretty much in a post-plant situation, you should almost like always be scoped. Unless you're like deciding between angles, like small angles, you're like strafing between like huge angles right now, and that's like totally unnecessary. Like, you don't need to move this much in a post-plant situation. Like, you honestly look like you have like, I don't know, ADD or something, because like this is just way too much moving. Just like post up on a position, lock it down, tell your teammates, hey, I'm watching this. There, you're watching it with an op. Like, they're not getting past you because you have good reaction times because you're not a silver. No disrespect to silvers, but you guys, some of you guys have like really slow reactions. It's like, I don't know what you're looking at on your screen. All you need to do is click a mouse. It's literally this hard to react to things sometimes. That's all you gotta do. I don't know why I felt like I needed to go on that tangent, but Like, that's why you just need to, like, post up on something, honestly. Okay, stop jumping over here. Like, it slows you down a lot. Like, also, that's really just, okay. That's just little mechanical things. Just, like, you don't need to jump when you're coming up that slope. Oh, that guy just hit a wild one tap through the smoke there. So, that's actually a great Molotov. It does slow your team down a little bit, but, like, now you're actually, like, making sure they can't stay posted up. If any CT were to be caught in front of it, you actually would have, like, isolated off an angle. Great opening picks there. Like, good movement there. That was, like, some of the best movement I've seen you have all game. You peeked those angles both perfectly. Like, you strafed into them. You didn't overextend your body or anything like that. You took one angle at a time, dude. You didn't overstrafe. You didn't like, that looked really good. Now you're playing a really safe angle. So this is where, like, I mean, you have low health. You're just playing something you're comfortable with. But, you could have picked that op up and posted on something earlier. And, I think you should know now where he is. And, you made a pretty big mistake there by switching guns. The CT had no idea where you were. And by dropping guns, I'm going to go back to it to see if he actually reacts to it the way I think he should have, is that, yeah, you made noise there, and because you made noise, he was able to react a little faster to that shot. He was clearing angles out like a maniac, but let's just see how this looks from his perspective. Let's watch. So, he had a really nice shot there overall, and there's not much you can do about that, but I think he did hear you. I mean, just watching that, he definitely heard it, but, yeah, like, this is another kind of general rule of thumb for Counter-Strike, is that when you have the lowest HP for your team, you shouldn't be playing the most, like, kind of scared, far back position. You should be playing something a little more far up, so that your teammates that have higher HP can try to clutch it out, because what can happen to you is a pretty common occurrence, where you simply just, okay, never run in front of operas like that. Don't just, like, yeah, that's like a... Okay, that was some weird ESP Sixth Sense thing you had there, where you just looked at your opera until he died. Kind of freaking me out now, a little bit. But don't run in front of operas. Like, what if the second you do that, someone walks in front of him, and that's just, yeah, that's just, like, not a good way to, that's not a good way to move around. But yeah, I'm just saying again, when you have low HP, play something a little more forward. Give your teammates who have high HP a chance to actually clutch the round. Okay, so you were getting pinched there. You kind of just hid, and you kind of let your teammate die there without even looking for the trade immediately either. Like, you kind of do that a lot, actually, where your teammates, like, I feel like in post-plant situations, you will, like, do it really nicely the way you'll, like, swing out, but, like, yeah, your teammate kind of died there, and you didn't, like, you're already in a really, like, late round, like, 1v4 situation. It's definitely within your best interest to, like, not, just, like, let your teammates die for free in a 2v4. Okay, so the way you were coming up alt mid, by the way, like, this whole time you're, like, running up here, you're vulnerable to a guy peeking from here. And, that's just something you'll learn, I guess, in the future. I don't know if people don't make that play in your games, but yeah, it's a really, really common for people to just, like, run out of window and shoot you. And you were kind of looking at the ground that whole time. Okay, so your teammates are dying everywhere. Definitely, you're gonna need to make a play soon. And you, like, should have killed him, but you quick switched in the middle of your burst. I don't know. That was weird. Like, there's not... When I make these videos, or just, like, demo reviews, I usually don't try to comment on, like, mechanical skill stuff, because, like, you can always just improve that, and if I just commented on that the whole time, it would just get, like, really exhausting. But, like, oh, you could have hit the shot if you just aimbot deathmatched for, like, an hour a day. Like, that's pointless. That's, like, pointless for me to say that. But, like, you kind of have a quick, like, things like that are well within your control. Like, you definitely have, like, a quick switching problem. Like, You don't do it like way too often, but like or like you kind of just have your knife out a lot, and you just like maybe it's not like a problem per se by like you're quick switching. No, you kind of do have your knife out, and you do quick switch a little too much. Yeah, just gonna be real. Like I don't know how to even put it. Okay, your teammate just threw the best smoke of his life, and you quick switch again for some weird reason. And I don't know, like, this is the weirdest round ever. I don't even know what to say about it. Okay, well, you're resetting now, so it's back to a pretty normal situation here. That was just so weird. I don't know, like, would I have ran through that smoke? I don't know. Would I see a pro through it do it? Maybe, honestly. Okay, so you're gonna smoke CT. Okay, you should definitely peek with your gun first, and then peek with the smoke. Like, you keep peeking with grenades out first. Like, usually you should peek with your gun out to see if they're holding the angle, and then you pull your nade out after that. And if they re-peek you in that brief window of timing, then that's just great, good timing on them. Like, you just gotta live with that. But you keep peeking angles with your nades out, and that's definitely a mistake. So, something to be aware of. Okay, so it's potentially the last round of the game. You should be buying everything you can buy, and you can buy another flash right now. So, and flashes are so good as terrorists. Okay, so your teammates are dying everywhere, and again, you're kind of holding yourself up in this position. Pro Angel Wings, thanks for the subscription. Welcome to the Maui squad. Bah! Thanks, Jeremy. Okay. You guys are moving up, but you lost the bomb, and you didn't ever pick it up, and that's a mistake. So notice how that CT uses utility, and how it, like, got you off of that. Think about those things. When you see a CT use their utility really well, and it makes you react in a certain way, try to mimic that in the future. Awesome flash, dude. Odd quick switch there. But you guys are actually bringing this back, and oh my god, the game sense is unreal right now. Like, you're actually clearing every angle perfectly. And you pull your knife out. You knew he was at B, so it's very unlikely that he's going to be anywhere that you're looking right now. You knew this guy was at B. He literally threw his smoke on the bomb site. You're telling where your teammate to plant. And you should find a good position to just hole up in with your teammate and just, like, play the 2v1. Right now, you're giving the CT a potential 1v2, or 1v2, several 1v1s. Don't that gauge. Okay, I'll get something different for Twitch for subscribers. I have an audio clip actually I wanted to put on, but I never did it. But yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, so don't give the opponent. Okay, that smoke would have been great earlier as well, dude. So, okay, I don't know why you're looking there. You know he's like running at you guys. Okay, like. You knew where he was. Okay, so use that smoke earlier. The Moto smoke in a post-plant situation is like literally the best nade. 0-2 give. I didn't even watch all of Darling in the Franxx, so I can't say I'm a big enough fan to use that. But I was honestly probably gonna use something from the movie Moana, just because they have a character named Maui in it. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I mean a lot of people watch Moana, but yeah. Okay, so you're gonna use a molly. Okay, this is great. Like, okay, he peeks in front of it, like, and he finds like a bunch of kills. Like, that was pretty unfortunate. If you used that molly a little earlier, that would have been a totally different story. And that's just things with timing. And let's see if I feel like you guys just, yeah, this is the last round. Okay, so what can we go over though? I'm gonna show you a couple nades. Dude, I've watched like 2 episodes. I mean, it's cool. I like it. But I'm gonna show you a couple nades. Wait, what is this map? I've never even seen that, but whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna show you a couple nades with this. But that's gonna mostly conclude it. I'm gonna go over your T side a little bit too right now. So T side, you're pretty good at pushing, so you should push a lot. Like, you sometimes play slowly, and I feel like you make a lot of mistakes when you play slowly. I would just keep up your super fast pace of play and learn how, and just like learn when you should play slow after that, like when it doesn't work. But right now, just play fast, dude. If you really just want to win, you are really good at playing quick. Shift was part of... Oh, okay. I just didn't see it in that area. So these are ways you can be using your nades a little differently. So if you want to if you're like... Oh, wait. I'll keep going with the T side rundown. So what other things you can do. So play fast. Play with your teammates a little more in the late round situations. Don't just... Like, you were, like, viciously baiting your teammates a couple times. And, I don't know. I think it takes for someone else to tell you, like, not your teammates that you're a baiter, but you're a baiter, dude. Anytime you're not, and it's not like a good type of baiting. Like, you're not like a snacks or like a zip mix or anything like that baiting, like, or swag, because you're not winning those like late round clutches that well. But early, like if you're like a second man in or like a first man in, I feel like right now that's like your best role. Don't like pigeonhole yourself into roles yet. You're way too early to be doing that. But I'm just saying right now, if you want the most success you can get, like you're kind of like, yeah, you're kind of just like baiting and you're not really getting anything out of it. Like you're just sitting in like weird positions and you're just like examining your knife and stuff like that while your teammates are dying everywhere. Like, I don't know, that doesn't really accomplish anything. So start thinking about like, how do you get yourself more involved with your teammates? And that's something you were doing pretty badly on CT side already. It happens on T side as well, not as frequently, but like it's it's not the greatest look for you. So this is how you should be using your nades early at B. There's a lot of ways you can do it. You can just start like this. You can throw a smoke down, and what this gives you is like total banana control. Okay, that was a pretty bad